Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. I'm Claire, your host and your digital marketing specialist here at Chromia. Whether you're tuning in for the first time or a regular of ours, a huge thank you for joining us today. We're in for an exciting episode because we have our amazing founders with us today. But before we dive in, I'd like to introduce you to our co-host and colleague, Guillermo, Chromia's head of marketing. Hi, Guillermo. How are you? How's everything?
Hey Claire, I'm good, thank you. How are you? As you said, it's a pretty exciting time with the Asgard upgrade coming. I think it's less than a week for the upgrade to happen, and having the opportunity to have the Chromia founders with us today and to talk with them directly and share have the opportunity to share their thoughts. It's great. Very excited about this episode.
Me too. I've been looking forward to all week, actually. And there's been a lot of discussions behind the scenes of things to come in the future, too. So let's get stuck in. Today is a huge episode. Not only do we have two of our Chromia co-founders, Henrik and Alex, joining us, but we're also talking about our newest upgrade to our mainnet, Asgard. How can we summarize a whole life dedicated to investing in innovation, developing technology, and pushing the envelope to bring power to the public? From the creation of Chromaway to the development of colored coins, one of the precursors of NFTs, to the first stable coins of tokenization of lands, we can say that we are in the presence of truly crypto OGs. And now that we are getting to the end of 2024, we can definitely say it's been an eventful year. From Chromia mainnet launch and token 2049 announcement of Chromia's development on AI to the topic that brings us all here today, the Asgard upgrade and the introduction of extensions. Powerful and ambitious minds working together can significantly impact markets and industries. So let's have a fantastic conversation today and bring Chromia to the forefront, and it is being supercharged with Asgard. Welcome in, Henrik and Alex. How are you both doing today?
Well, I can start. I have a terrible cold, actually, but I hope I will be able to be here reasonably mentally. So excuse me if I'm not the sharpest guy in the room, which I've never have because we have Alex, Claire, and Guillermo here. But anyway, nice to be here.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I'm good. I don't have cold, so I guess I will take most questions probably today. Thanks for introduction.
Fantastic. Yeah, well, we wish you to get well soon, Henrik. It is that time of year where a lot of us are falling under the weather, but it's better to get it out of the way now rather than at Christmas time. Alex will be taking the lead here today, but nonetheless, we will be able to answer some questions as well as we go along. But keeping up to date with Chromia through our blogs, social media is absolutely essential. Through our AMAs, you can get a deeper understanding of our updates, upgrades, and partnerships right from the source. Today is a great day to get insights and maybe even some alpha along the way. So let's get stuck in. You may already know that Chromia dApps are built using the container-based system. This enables developers to pay in CHR for network resources while allowing them to create their own economic models. But let's share the benefits for our users too. This means a smoother onboarding and even a gas-free experience. So for those of you who are new to Chromia, please let's just see this as just the cusp of it all. So Chromia's relational blockchain architecture is already designed to handle complex queries and large-scale operations, making it perfect for applications that demand serious data capabilities. But what if you need something extra? Think Asgard extensions and Chromia's first extension release, Oracle. So let's get jumped right in. Could you briefly introduce what extensions are and what they mean for developers? How did you come up with this concept? Was it some kind of revelation or inspiration? Or did you see it as something logical step forward for Chromia dApp buildings, perhaps?
I will start probably starting from inspiration. So it was actually a kind of like part of the vision even before we had Chromia. We were building kind of like a framework where it's possible to customize it for concrete application. So we kind of internally, we always had extensions basically, but for Chromia, of course, like we could not kind of like start offer extensions from day one because it's more about security. How do we enable additional functionality without compromising security? So I'd say like it was clear we were on the path towards extensions. Once we decided to use a container-based model because it's kind of naturally you can customize your runtime for each container. But it was not basically we kind of like only introducing it after mainnet launch because it's in a way it's not essential to the functionality because you can basically write an application without extensions. We are focusing on the main functionality of relational basically database, but now we kind of ready to add this kind of capability and we kind of integrate it. Yeah, like what they do basically is they essentially it's what it says it's a way to extend Chromia without making it a network-wide upgrade, but on the level of individual container. So the extension needs to be whitelisted. They kind of voted up by provider. So we kind of this way we can avoid extensions which can disrupt the network or just kind of not secure for applications. But there can be different varying degree of experimental features. So it's now easier. It's now very simple to add functionality without like network-wide upgrades. It's possible to, for example, go to cycle, potentially at least possible to go to cycle from like writing some code to deploying an application using extension in just a couple of days, and it doesn't require a wide coordination, just kind of whitelisting. And extension, in principle, they can do everything. They basically just extend Chromia capabilities in pretty much arbitrary ways. But yeah, like we are targeting probably, and we advise extension developers. By the way, it doesn't have to come from Chromia core team. It can be anyone. Anybody can be extension developer, but of course you need there are very strict requirements to be whitelisted basically. But it's open for any developers, or like DApp developers can maybe make a DApp specific extension. Maybe another kind of developer can offer it to wider audience. So yeah, it makes Chromia much more open basically, and yeah, pretty much limitless capabilities.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think in a roundabout way, it's basically adding tools to your tool belt. It's being able to see the expansions of Chromia where other people out there can create the things that they need and develop it into exactly almost like solving issues along the way. If you're building on Chromia and you want to add a particular tool or updated database application, you can do that. And let's continue with the big picture as well. Asgard upgrade is the first of Chromia's upgrades, the first step of an extensive roadmap released last year. How does Asgard upgrade reflect Chromia's long-term vision of empowering developers?
I guess it's about being able to develop fast for developers and to do something that you can do applications quickly and completely. As I see it, we have like a layer of data, which is important for almost all applications to store data, but with extensions you can add even more general purpose computation, which makes it feasible to do anything you can do in Web 2, but in a more secure Web 3 way. So I think it's about you can build stuff fast in RHEL on our platform, but if you really want to do something more complex, like an Oracle, you can do this now in a new way with more, basically. It's a fantastic new addition, completely.
I mean, I think in a way it's as Claire described it before, is adding more and more tools to developers for them to not only build faster and more efficiently, but also in giving them power to customize and make decisions along the way, and also in a modular way, so they can add more and more. They have these resources to build more and more complex dApps.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as you mentioned, and dApps and builders are at the center of Chromia's vision, long-term Chromia vision. For example, we've mentioned Rail, we've mentioned these extensions and how these empower builders. So in particular extensions, how do you think is going to improve their experience? How do you see a developer reacting to these extensions when they come to build on Chromia for the first time, or maybe for long-term builders on Chromia? How do you see this making a difference?
I guess there are like two different, maybe even three kind of aspects to it. So one is simple, like as you mentioned, like tools in the tool belt, so we kind of extend. Basically, the developers have more options to choose from. Like if they want to integrate oracles and things like that, they will just have more tools to basically for building the applications. But I think it's also important to highlight basically there are different types of one option is to just kind of extend your app, but like we also need to consider that extensions can the point of extensions to extend what is possible, right? So like it's extend the range of possibilities. So there might be completely new types of apps created through this process, basically enabled by this process. And in terms of like long-term vision, like we want to, instead of kind of prescribing like very particular set of features, we want to take feedback from application developers. Like they can come to us and say, we need this. Like we need, we have an idea for an idea for big application which we cannot build anywhere else. Can you help? And this means that this development doesn't have don't need to compromise on this vision. Like we don't need to enable it for the entire network. We can experiment maybe with specific extensions for specific kind of like new type of applications. So that's kind of affects what developers can build and like why they come to Chromia. And also it gives there is also experience of people maybe not building an app, but like who want to build more infrastructural pieces, for example. So they Chromia extensions gives them additional venues. So now instead of like going through the process of making you have an idea for some kind of new blockchain feature, instead of starting a new blockchain and like it's this, it's difficult, of course, you need all the nodes, applications, and so on. They can come to Chromia, and Chromia we already have this machinery with nodes where we can define configuration of each node, what this node runs, and they can come just implement this like value add feature, something new, and roll it out on Chromia to existing nodes and kind of immediately make it available to all application developers building on Chromia. So I think this is like also can be fantastic for infrastructure builders, because this is like extra option. Instead of like doing the whole stack, you can just implement very specific feature which you want and enroll into existing network.
I do want to mention, or rather ask a quick question. You mentioned earlier about we have a very, I'd say, strict or a very particular whitelisting process. Would you be able to share with us just real quick how people can look into getting whitelisted if they are a developer wanting to get involved?
Well, we will, I guess like now, like probably best way to just get into contact with the team, who will we will later kind of release SDK. But yeah, I mean, like developers can just start looking into existing code, examples and so on. But like we will later release SDK and kind of process. But like it probably simplest now to get into like Discord, get into contact with core team. But yeah, like whitelisting is essentially if you kind of like this needs like extension needs to be built in a secure way. So like to kind of avoid sneaking some, like it's possible given that its current format is a container, it's possible to sneak in some kind of bad code. So we needs to be released in a way which makes entire code visible and built in open way. But like if you able to build it this way, like basically, it can be a like if you basically we will go like a core team like would vouch for your extension, and then it's a providers vote to include it into the network. So that's basically the process. But yeah, like I'm not sure if you have like full process documented out. So like, but in any case, probably good idea given that it's new to reach out to the core team representative if you want to build an extension. They will kind of guide for the process.
Absolutely, yes. Safety.
No, sorry. I wanted to say that probably, and in this also in this AMA, we're getting ahead of us because in this Asgard upgrade we are releasing the framework, the initial framework for extensions, and we are already talking about extensions and future extensions coming. Feels like we're getting excited about it, and obviously this takes time, right? And the process of getting externals. Developers and getting them involved into building their own extensions is probably going to take some time, but definitely is part of the plan, let's say.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's great that we're thinking ahead and we're getting a lot of the community involved. Henrik, did you want to add something?
So I mean it's important that we have a roadmap of new features to add. For example, to this, if you check on the Chromia homepage, you see the roadmap. But quite a lot of more concrete examples of extensions coming, or like working examples. So, oracles first. We have zero knowledge proof. We have AI inference. We're focusing quite a lot on AI now. We think we have a good model with our data storage, relational database technology, and also now with extensions and AI extensions to be really super good platform for AI applications. So to me, this is a super exciting. Extension is probably the most exciting thing I've seen for several years in the company, actually. After seeing the live product, of course, but we know the vision about that. But as a new idea, I think it's fantastic.
And we're definitely not biased. We're really excited, and I was going to mention as well, like it's just wonderful to be able to be a part of a project that is really just thinking outside of the box and keeping up. There are so many projects that are falling behind, and with Chromia, we really are doing so much all at once. And the extensions rollout is an exciting journey, with the extensions framework and the Oracle being just the next step. Perhaps, Henrik, could you walk us through the roadmap and highlight the milestones we should be keeping an eye on?
We can. The roadmap is on the homepage. So we should look at the Asgard release in December the 3rd, right? And then we have this plan for zero knowledge proofs, for AI inference, and and then we of course have other more business things happening on Chromia, new partners, new sort of applications being built. Some we know about that are in stealth mode, and some. So there's quite a lot of stuff that's going to happen all the time now.
Yeah, it's really exciting. We also recently brought on Johnson Lai as our head of data and AI, and he's doing some really interesting things already with AI agents. So I think there's going to be some really amazing things coming up. And for those of you who do want to check out our roadmap, please go to chromia.com/roadmap.
Wait till Johnson gets the AI extensions to play with as well. Then you're going to see action, probably.
Yeah, the Q1 next year, and see what Johnson can bring with this extension is definitely something to keep your eye on, because big things are coming, definitely.
Really exciting. I love everything.
That's why this makes me so excited, because I immediately understand what the potential that you can basically do anything now on the blockchain, which wasn't the case originally. But yeah. So I might be biased, but still have some ground for it probably.
Absolutely, of course. The Oracle extension promises high-speed validated data delivery delivered securely with every block. That's a bold promise that not many projects can deliver on. Perhaps, Alex, could you walk us through how Chromia got to this level of precision and security?
I probably tried like more technical approach. Explanation of the blockchain architecture. So like if you look at general platforms like Ethereum, Solana, they are built kind of like as a single like virtual machine essentially, and all players, including Oracle, they are basically just they have to play as they basically just as an ordinary smart contract. So your ability to inject data, they are basically on the same ground as ordinary users actually. So this means that the ability to inject the data into the blockchain, like you need the constant feed. For example, like DeFi applications, some DeFi applications might rely on this constant feed of data from external sources, like on pricing data on centralized exchanges, for example, and so on. So you don't have reliable delivery, because like it becomes a transaction essentially, and it's kind of gets into the same queue as all other transactions and might go to one block, might not go to a block. It's basically sometimes it's kind of matter of private deals where miner extractive value, like miner who builds a block can manipulate like ordering and so on, and inclusion of transactions. And Chromia is different because there is like each dApp can run a separate blockchain, and this means like dApp logic. We have something called special transactions, which make like basically Chromia system to inject transactions on the system level, inject like data into the network. So this is how like the Oracle extension, it plugs into the special transaction framework, and it always kind of guarantees that like you can make a guarantee that every block must include this data. So it's not optional anymore, and it must be at the very beginning of the block. So miners cannot reorder like your kind of special transaction stuff. Like it has to basically, we have a partner or a Stork network who publishes data. They publish signed data and on the endpoint, but like they do not deliver it to Chromia. Like Chromia nodes, they are basically so the extension node. Chromia nodes are configured to continuously pull this data when they're building the block. So like each time you build a new block, you can fetch new data. So this is like you can get this through costly. Like if you make a custom blockchain using some SDK, you can get this kind of feature functionality. But for general app platforms like Ethereum, this is kind of inaccessible. And on Chromia, we can basically can offer this guarantee that the data is very fresh and it's exactly when it needs to, and kind of guaranteed to be there. So that's basically how it works, and it can work for like it can work for any external data basically. Of course, like it's we recommend it to be signed, of course, but in principle, nodes using this special transaction framework they can execute code outside of blockchain and pull data from other blockchain and from outside of blockchain into the network. This actually, like before extension, we kind of use this special transaction functionality to get like Ethereum interop frameworks. This is how Ethereum events get injected into Chromia. But now through extensions, the same functionality which power in Ethereum interop is now available to extension writers. And specifically we have into like as a first kind of example extension, we have integration with Stork offering this capability.
And what about, because the when I heard, obviously Oracle's feed protocols with all kinds of real-time data, but obviously the first thing to comes to mind when talking about oracles is DeFi. My question would be, how do you think, or could you give us a little more detail on how an Oracle extension would benefit, for example, a potential DeFi app, and or how would DeFi on Chromia will look like in the future? Thank you to this, for example, extension, Oracle extension.
Man, I think that DeFi is very important with oracles and have accurate price data if you want to do swaps or lending protocols or futures, or well, basically all financial applications. So this is an enabler for being able to do DeFi well. Of course, it will not happen overnight, but I think that this is a fantastic framework and will open up new opportunities for DeFi on Chromia.
Yeah, and more opportunities for Chromia, obviously, in DeFi, obviously means more TVL, and obviously high numbers of TVL is something that the user and the community wants to see in their favorite project and in Chromia, right? So yeah, I mean that there's a very, very big connection. Sometimes it's not easy to see, but this is an important step towards that.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Yeah. So for those of you who are joining in halfway through, we've got about 800 people joining us, which is fantastic. It's great to see so many people here. Just to give you a bit of an update, we are discussing the Asgard upgrade. So welcome in, and I encourage you guys to go and listen in from the beginning. It's going to be available still on X as well as LinkedIn and YouTube. But for now, let's continue. So with more extensions being added over time, how are you ensuring the platform is scalable without compromising performance? Alex?
Yes, that's basically like our capability of like running this extension is kind of downstream of the general architecture with clusters and containers. So extension is applied on a level of containers, so it shouldn't affect other containers. Basically, this is like Linux kind of helps with this. Also can be confined, like we in Chromia, we have ability to scale with number of clusters. So if there is more demand, we can spin up more clusters. And that's, yeah, like I think like some extensions might be confined, like if some extension requires like huge amount of bandwidth, it might go to separate cluster, for example. So then it won't affect the rest of the network. So that's, yeah, like basically, this is the reason why we kind of like able to create these extensions, because like we have general compute capability, which is scalable, and this enables, this basically opportunity. And I think like we can, one option might be like we can, like basically, like currently indexing is done in the often centralized way for blockchains in general. This where like Chromia can even contribute to basically this to other blockchain applications running on other blockchains, because we will be able to run indexing, basically set up a separate cluster for indexing, let's say Ethereum or some other blockchain. And even if it's, like if it takes, it means we will take entire load of Ethereum, but like that's what clusters are for. Like that should be like basically we can basically index. I guess in the long run, we like our mission to index all other blockchains and help apps on all other blockchains to be more decentralized, relying on decentralized indexing instead of like centralized services.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, rest assured, it's definitely going to be scalable. And for developers with existing dApps on Chromia, how seamless will it be to incorporate extensions for those people? Are there any updates or adjustments they might need to make in the meantime?
Yes, I can select. Basically, it's a matter like we have UI to provision containers, and the extensions are integrated into that. So you can just select an extension you want in this UI. So this is integrated with tooling, and it should be easy to integrate.
That's what we like to hear. Easy to integrate. Fantastic. So the future of AI inference extensions in the roadmap sounds really exciting. And from this conversation so far, I'm sure everyone else in the audience is excited too. Could you tell us more about it though? And how are they connected to the Token 2049 announcement of the Chromia Data and AI Ecosystem Fund? Sounds like AI is going to play a big role in Chromia's future.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have this announcement that we are supporting doing this fund that are investing in AI, and it's quite large. And we have so far invested in Alpha AI, Shasp Network, and Love AI. We think our hypothesis is that AI data is important for AI, and Chromia is the best blockchain for data, basically, both structured data, because you have a relational database built in, basically the same model that all data applications in the world are using, but you also have capabilities of file storage. And now also with extensions, there's so much you can do with it. I know, for example, Alex has been an AI enthusiast and doing AI projects for, I don't know how many years, Alex. It's like you're an OG on AI.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, I have basically to combine my passion for AI with blockchain stuff. So I'm not really I'm not a researcher, but I kind of follow all AI research. So yeah, I was like, now that there is trend to integrate AI into the blockchain, I'm excited that we can finally apply this to the blockchain. And capabilities are basically are there now. I think there is again, I guess our vision is to get feedback, because there are maybe hundreds of different ways we can integrate AI. So we need to work with developers and to what is the best way to address their needs with this, what kind of new ideas they can bring in AI space. But we can do a lot, I guess.
And we also have now recruited Johnson Lai to be sort of the head of data, and he's trying to promote it and experiment with it, and helping us to have set a strategy for AI. So that's something that we are sort of we want to have a strong focus on that, because it's an enormously growing market and will be everywhere. And several years ago, I told some journalists that blockchain could be sort of the counterpart against AI. We know that something is humanly generated, put on a blockchain, so it could be used for proof of what is genuine facts, etc. I think that at the start I felt like a joke, because AI hadn't advanced at the time. So I said, don't write about this, it was a stupid idea. But actually now it makes sense. I think that the whole blockchain world, in particular, if you have storage capabilities of Chromia, will be very important for securing what is human versus what is AI going forward.
Yeah, there isn't a day that goes by that I don't use AI. It's integrated into my life almost as if it's like my phone. I use my phone probably as much as I need AI in my life. And we know that Chromia plans to eventually let developers create their own extensions. I imagine maybe even in the future, AI will be incorporated into building their extensions and building a future marketplace of extensions. So how do you envision it exactly? And what kind of extensions could be built in it? What kind of support or resources will be available for developers to get started?
We will. I mean, it's not even now. I guess people can build extensions just they need probably to basically argue for their inclusion into the whitelist. But we will over time offer SDK and documentation for extension builders, and also maybe increased number, like different types of extensions which can be built basically to offer some templates, things like that. And yeah, on the marketplace, I think like it's kind of a new way to monetize. I guess like it will be a new way to monetize, developer expertise. Because like, yeah, as I already covered it a little bit, that like now if you have some idea for what is useful to application developers, you can only launch it on layer 1. And even then, if you launch layer 1, somebody can copy, right? And like if you just offer, for example, if you make a new smart contract, people can just copy, like if, for example, if you have idea, something like on Ethereum, people can just copy your smart contract. So like hard to kind of retain IP. But like for Chromia, this marketplace, it's similar, in Amazon, there is something called paid AMI, kind of paid machine image, where like user for the developer, the ops person deploying, they can choose some basically software. They can pay for, instead of like going outside paying for some licenses, they just select AMI with this software pre-installed, and Amazon handles payment to the developer. For example, like Oracle, Red Hat offers this feature, like IBM. Basically, they offer like premium Linux support, for example. This is some basically our inspirations that like container image, essentially similar to this Amazon machine image, that we can give developers kind of who want to work infrastructure and like want to add new features to monetize their basically expertise and offer this to application developers as more like premium container. So for applications, even you can offer, you cannot sell like very hard to sell software to a DAO, for example, but you can on Chromia, you can basically just, it will be incorporated into a fee of running a container, basically as a payment for software for some extra features maybe application needs. So yeah, I think like this is like a way to monetize, and a good way, kind of accessible to kind of very technical developer focused companies who maybe don't have like, as much like sales capability, but like really, technical. So yeah, it can be anything basically. We offer like easiest to run to write extensions in like something Java or like Kotlin, but also can like Java has FFI, so it can support anything like WebAssembly, C, really anything. So yeah, I think like the marketplace will basically, like currently Chromia already essentially acts as a marketplace between application developers and providers. So they kind of Chromia links applications with providers. And now we will add the third parties, infrastructure kind of developers who work on features. So they will also offer their kind of additional features on this marketplace and make it available to application developers. So yeah, I think like it's kind of like, I guess it's in a way it's kind of new thing for entire blockchain industry, because yeah, like there haven't been really a lot of good ways to monetize this kind of expertise.
I mean, definitely sounds like this open a lot of opportunities for developers. Yeah, so I wanted to know, I mean, empowering developers to build dApps and to build complex dApps, and these extensions is definitely a step in remarkable step in that direction. I wanted to ask regarding the ecosystem and the contribution to the ecosystem and the utility of the CHR tokens. How do you? We've mentioned, for example, the DeFi and the DeFi and the connection to the TVL. But how do you envision this general extensions program and innovation? How do you think it's going to drive adoption and increase value of the Chromia ecosystem?
Well, we hope it's positive, right? Like everyone that it doesn't collapse the value, but like enabling different, like different applications, different because like I think like blockchain, like cryptocurrency layer one sector is very competitive. So you always need to provide something unique, something which application needs in this particular time. And so extensions like should be much easier for Chromia to adapt to the needs of the market and like really address the needs which application developers have. And this means this like increased network usage and like basically drive volume of like CHR as kind of like payment token for the system. So basically, yeah, it should attract developers. And yeah, it can also unlock like new kind of like whole like new verticals potentially, because maybe it's not like just classics like like okay DeFi applications. That's others by extensions through for example like Oracle can be like more maybe optimized kind of DeFi execution engine, whatever. But also like completely kind of new kind of applications can be enabled through this, and this will kind of bring additional usage. So I guess like potentially we can see like a whole new clusters being added to the network just to support particular kind of extensions and applications. So yeah, like I think like that should can potentially be a big unlock for Chromia.
Yeah, the CHR utility is just growing constantly. And with the introduction of extensions, perhaps could you share with me, Henrik, with the introduction of extensions, where do you see Chromia's position in Web3 space when it comes to building dApps that can impact real life?
Yeah, I mean, Alex just touched upon it. We can enable so much of different applications and do decentralization for real. So it's not only about token, but we have a complete framework. We can basically make all sort of dApps and onboard normal users and sort of grow this whole market. I think we have a combination of storage of data and logic, and now we have general computation with extensions. So we have zero gas fees, and we have like sort of fast, good development language that's actually using the technology that I use for all other applications in the normal world. It's a bit strange that we are unique here. So we have both a unique architecture, but also now we're pretty unique with extensions and so on. So I think there's a lot of possibilities and flexibility in the system, and yeah, I think that's it has to be a fantastic market for this kind of really good framework for developers. We've seen it in the normal world that good technologies often actually win as well. So,
and with security and safety on the blockchain being our primary focus as well, it just shows that Chromia is really just ahead of the market with all of this. So Asgard is the first upgrade and is just 1 week away from being deployed. What other types of features might we explore in the future, if you're able to share this with us, that is? Can you share any alpha, perhaps, that might not necessarily be in the roadmap, perhaps that only our listeners can know?
Yeah, exactly. This is we have almost 1,000 people connected at this moment, and they are all staying until the end. So can we let them know something that it is not in the roadmap, that something exciting for the future?
Well, I guess that would be kind of a bit speculative. So don't quote me on this, because like this roadmap is of course like difficult. Like we try to kind of restrict, even if we can potentially have more bandwidth. There is also some we need to allocate some space to listen to feedback from developers. So we kind of intentionally, avoid kind of very specific roadmap, which would be very hard to handle while also by also listening to feedback, following trends, for example, and things like that. But yeah, like just potentially like what is coming to Chromia, something basically I mentioned, like we are looking to integrate like liquid staking, consider the liquid staking for CHR to integrate in our roadmap. This is something like many networks have, and like it's in principle simple to add to Chromia, which might be beneficial for DeFi, like because like then you can use CHR collateral in DeFi applications. Then like we also looking to basically enable a snapshot synchronization for Chromia blockchains to kind of synchronize them faster. This is more like technical feature. And like on extension front, like I guess beyond, like I think we mentioned like AI inference capability, but yeah, can be more general compute. I think like we kind of really will release a framework with to add more general compute capability. So basically, we have something called like hybrid computation. So like on chain, you cannot really compute a lot on blockchain because like it needs to be deterministic, it needs to be ordered. So it's kind of expensive to add big compute. And like on the other hand, if you compute off chain, then execution is not guaranteed. So we kind of creating a kind of hybrid approach between on-chain and off-chain that to involve the node itself, either doing computation or kind of offloading to some external network, but like this will be like much closer to on-chain than the usual off-chain solution because it is performed by network nodes themselves. So basically, I call it hybrid, basically compute. And this is how like AI inference will work. Like the node will get the requests and execute them asynchronously, but still kind of inject and verify all results on chain. That can also be used in for other kinds of computationally heavy workloads, not just like AI inference. We also kind of on AI front, we're also looking into adding kind of vector database capability to improve the search. So then, Chromia is good at indexing data, but currently it is optimized to look up by complete key. You cannot do like full text search. And with like embedding vectors, you can search for semantics actually. So it's kind of insensitive to typos and things like that. It's kind of approximate search, kind of very AI powered information retrieval. So this is like available for underlying database. We use Postgres. There is extensions for this, so it should be pretty easy to integrate. So yeah, this will, I guess, like it will be more or less unique in the blockchain world to offer basically like this vector search integrated into the blockchain itself with relation to indexing. So that's I guess that's enough alpha. So yeah, this is like, of course, like on the web to put the roadmap. I cannot say which specific months it's gonna be released, anything like this. But yeah, like we have a lot planned, and we will try to basically coordinate and release these things.
And that's the beauty of blockchain, is that things will always come up. Things will always spark inspiration, especially talking to our community and getting the community involved. And with extensions and the Asgard upgrade and future things coming along, it is really an exciting point in the market in general. And with Chromia in particular, with the things that we have just shared with you some fantastic pieces of alpha showing that it's just continuous improvement. But let's see about 2025. It's just around the corner. And what can Chromia community expect for 2025? Perhaps maybe your top 3 things to come, or things that people can really look out for and look forward to in 2025.
I guess, Alex, you should take it. You have the roadmap in your head about the most exciting things. But
And I think like on the business side, we kind of see a lot of applications. Kind of, like we had a bit of slow start with mainnet. Like maybe people really expected everything to be available in the first month, which didn't happen. It's very hard to coordinate to release 10 things in 1 month. But yeah, like we talking with applications, and they report they're about to be ready. So like everything, I know like a lot of community members are kind of skeptical in a way that they asking, when do you have this feature? When do you have real DeFi on Chromia and so on? So talking with application developers and partners, it seems like it's coming very soon. So maybe like in 2020, first month of 2025, or even in next month, basically. So yeah, expect a lot, basically. I think especially the first quarter might be kind of like big updates on this front, both kind of completely new capabilities, as well as just stuff which everyone has and like everybody expects from Chromia, but going forward. So yeah, I think like we're kind of like really excited for the next coming months, basically. I think like a lot will happen next 5 months, something like that.
Yeah, and gosh, even the rest of 2025 will be quite exciting. Okay, so it is that exciting part of the show where you can be one of this week's 10 lucky winners to win 150 USDT. Getting involved in this week's giveaway is simple. So follow us on social media and create a post about Chromia extensions on your own platform. Now, although we love AI around here, when I'm choosing the winner, I want to make sure that you're not using AI. We want it to be organic. We want you to be able to use your creativity, and we want to reward those who are really just sharing their creativity. Whether it's a post on X or LinkedIn, a blog on Medium or Reddit, a YouTube video or a TikTok video, even an Instagram post, we'd love to see it. So post about Chromia extensions, and to ensure we don't miss your submission, share the link with us in the Asgard AMA submissions channel on Discord. That's the Asgard AMA submissions channel on Discord. Full details and guidelines will also be shared in Discord. So if you've missed me speaking it out now, don't worry, it's all on our Discord channel under Asgard AMA submissions. And don't forget, be sure to tag Chromia or include our website, chromia.com, in your post. That way, more and more people can find out about Chromia and get involved. That's right. So post about Chromia extensions on your social media page, and you could be one of 10 lucky winners to each win 150 USDT. Winners will be announced on Chromia's Discord as well, and your USDT will be sent to you within 72 hours of receiving your wallet address. I'll give a few days for everyone to submit their post, so I don't want you guys to rush. So you've got 7 days to submit your post, and we'd love to be able to see your creativity. So keep an eye on Discord for the big announcement, and good luck. You've got 7 days. So before we go, I not only want to say a huge thank you to our guests and founders of Chromia, Henrik and Alex, and particularly Henrik, thank you so much for fighting through. Bless your heart, you've been under the weather. We really do appreciate you powering through this.
Yeah, so for newcomers, I have a terrible cold, if you think I have a Russian dialect. It's completely wrong. I'm Swedish. Alex is Ukrainian, so yeah.
Right. Okay. So also a huge thank you to our head of marketing, Guillermo. But I do want to just ask one final question that for those of you who are here and you've been able to join in just at the end of our AMA, perhaps we can give a bit of like a takeaway. So what would it be if you had to sum up the impact of Asgard upgrade in just one sentence? So what would it be if you could sum up the impact of Asgard upgrade in just one sentence? Alex, perhaps you can go first.
Yeah, this Asgard update, we are showing that Chromia is ready to grow to be the most versatile platform on DApp platform market.
It's like strapping a jet engine to a Ferrari.
I love it. This is fantastic. Guillermo, do you have any last words?
No, I mean, if I can do something is to add my own take. I would say that it's like a superpowers hat that you get into your dApp. That it connects you through the whole universe. So. Yeah, no, I just want to thank you, Alex and Henrik, for participating in this AMA and sharing your thoughts on the extensions and helping us explaining it better to the community. Just remind you that the Asgard upgrade is scheduled for December 3rd, which is less than a week now. And keep up on social media because as with all the alpha that Alex and Henrik mentioned, community channels, Discord, Telegram, or Twitter is the best way to stay up to date to Chromia, to everything that's new. And as Alex and Henrik mentioned, we have a lot prepared, a lot is coming. So yeah, better don't sleep on it because it's gonna be pretty eventful the following weeks and months.
Thank you everyone that posted comments as well here. Sorry, we don't have time to go into detail and answer all of them, but even though quite a lot of them I think are answered if you have listened carefully. But thank you for posting.
Absolutely. And we'll go through all of the comments and questions as well, and we'll be sure to share it with our team and be able to answer a lot of the questions as well. So thank you so much for all taking the time to join us today. All over 1,100 of you for the number that I have right here, which is a phenomenal amount of people joining in to find out the information about our latest upgrade, Asgard, and the Oracle extension. So be sure to follow us on social media across platforms, and don't forget to share this AMA with your friends, and also follow us for the latest updates on Chromia's journey. And if you're ready to start building with us, head to our website to find out more. My name's Claire, and I can't wait to be able to see you next time. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Alex, Guillermo, and Henrik, and thank you, everyone in the audience.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care. And just one final note as well for the contest, just a recap, just to make sure that everyone is there listening in, because it is a fantastic giveaway. I really just want to emphasize that I can't wait to be able to see your comments, your posts. Make sure it is about Chromia extensions on your own platform, whether it's posted on X, LinkedIn, a blog on Medium or Reddit, even a YouTube or TikTok video, and even an Instagram post. We'd love to see it. So make sure you don't miss out on this opportunity, because you have the opportunity to win $150 and you need to post your post in Asgard AMA submissions on the channel on Discord. So thank you guys. Thank you all for joining us. You have 7 days, and I can't wait to be able to see your content, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.